In this video, I want to take you behind the scenes of something I did that has completely changed the way I see my business. It's a real skill audit, not the resume version, not the let me list all the things I did at my job version, but an honest, grown woman in midlife. What do I actually know how to do, and what is it worth audit? And I'll be honest with you, what I found surprised me. Now, some things I knew, and some things I tend to downplay, and some things I almost didn't even count because they came so naturally to me. So I assumed they didn't really matter, but they actually did. And going through that process is exactly what helped me understand the value that I bring, not just in the corporate sector, but also in entrepreneurship, community building, and offer creation. So today, I'm going to walk you through how I audited my own skills, what shocked me, and which skills made the final cut as sellable. And by the end of this video, my hope is that you will feel motivated to do your own audit and uncover what you can build and sell next. But before we dive in, let me introduce myself. Hey, friend, my name is Quinn, and I'm on a mission to help women in midlife create more freedom, ownership, and opportunity for themselves by turning their existing experience into new income streams. So, why did I do a skill audit in the first place? Let me set the scene. Right after I was let go from my corporate role, I sat down to update my LinkedIn profile. In my mind, it was supposed to be something simple, just clean it up, make it sound professional, polished, and presentable. But the more I typed, the deeper I fell into this unexpected rabbit hole because something really felt off. It felt like I was writing scared, shrinking, editing myself down, trying to sound acceptable instead of accurate. I wasn't telling the whole truth about what I actually knew how to do. I was just listing tasks, but not the transformation those tasks created. And that's when I realized a resume version of me wasn't going to help me build my next chapter. I needed the real version, the full bodied version, the version that actually reflected my skill set and not just my job description. I have spent years helping organizations tell better stories, communicate more clearly, and build stronger communities. Yet I had never actually sat down and given myself credit for being able to do those things. Not in corporate, not in entrepreneurship, not even in my own mind. On paper, it just looked like managed communications or supported leadership or planned events. But in reality, I was shaping narratives, I was shifting culture and building spaces where people felt seen and connected. And seeing that gap between what I really did and what I was willing to claim was a real wake up call for me. So I made a decision. I said, okay, if I were looking at another woman's career, another woman's life, I would never downplay her like this. I would pull out all of her receipts. I would name her strengths. I would show her how powerful her experience really is. So that's what I decided to do for myself. I was going to audit my skills the same way that I will audit someone else's. Honestly, thoroughly, and without minimizing what I brought to the table. No more shrinking, no more just doing my job. I wanted to see the full picture of what I could actually do. So here's what I did. I created a two-part audit, what I know from experience and what I know how to teach. Because here's the thing, a skill becomes sellable when you can teach it, package it, or translate it into something someone else can use. That's when it moves from something I can do to something I can charge for. So, to get honest with myself, I asked myself four simple but very revealing questions. And I would encourage you to use these same questions for your own audit. So, question number one was, what do people consistently come to me for help with? Now, when I sat with that question, the answers came to me pretty quickly. Messaging, story development, event planning, clarity, direction, a game plan. People have been coming to me for these things for years, long before I ever thought about packaging them. The second question was, what comes so naturally to me that I forget it's an actual skill? Y'all, this one got me. I realized that I'm really good at translating corporate processes into something an entrepreneur can actually use. I can break down complex ideas into simple, actionable steps without even thinking about it. And I help women see the real value in their own stories. And I create environments where people feel safe enough to say, okay, don't judge me, but I do have a question. Now, those may sound small, which is exactly why I overlook them, but they're actually powerful, teachable skills. Question number three is, what skills earned me praise at work, even if they weren't part of my job description? Now, this brought back some memories. People always commented on my ability to apply strategic thinking, my problem solving, my ability to bring people together, as well as my calm demeanor. Now, none of those things were official job titles, but they are real strengths that made a difference. Question number four you should ask yourself is, what have I already done that proves this skill is real? In that moment, I realized I had been sitting on more skills and more opportunity than I had ever allowed myself to acknowledge. And this is where I surprised myself because when I look back, I realized something I completely forgotten. And that was that my first digital product wasn't even an ebook or a course, it was an online event. I collaborated with people who had the same goals as me. I came up with a topic that mattered. I communicated the value clearly. I showed up with confidence, even though I was nervous as all get out. But guess what? 500 women registered. 500 from my laptop, from something that I created from scratch. And that moment right there, that was proof. That was confirmation. That was oh, I can really do this moment. And you know what it told me? It told me two things. The first thing was that this is a real market for me. And the second thing was I have way more skill and way more value than I was giving myself credit for. And honestly, that realization changed everything. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the things that surprised me, the things that I did not expect to find. The first thing was that my strongest skill, which is messaging, wasn't even on my original list. When I first started writing things down, messaging wasn't top of mind for me. I literally added it in like, oh yeah, I guess I do help people say things better. But the more I sat with it, the more it hit me. Messaging wasn't a side skill for me. It was a thing I had been shaping for years without even realizing it. I wasn't just fixing words, I was crafting narratives. I was helping people communicate clearly. I was influencing outcomes at work, at events, in communities. And when I zoomed out, I realized messaging wasn't just something that I did, it had quietly become the foundation of everything I do now. The second thing that surprised me was that I underestimated my ability to translate corporate skills into entrepreneurship. Now, listen, I've made videos about this. I told other women to stop downplaying their corporate experience, but when it came to my own list, I did the exact same thing. Corporate had trained me to believe that certain things were just part of my job. Project management, communication, leading initiatives, creating systems. But when I saw those skills written out in front of me, I realized these are the exact skills that entrepreneurs pay thousands of dollars for. I had been using these abilities to help employers grow for years, but I never stopped to think about how powerful they would be for women in midlife who are trying to grow something of their own. And that for me was a big, oh, wait a minute moment for me. The third thing that kind of shocked me was that I didn't realize how much community building I had done until I wrote it all down. Corporate teams, church groups, event cohorts, my own Facebook and school communities. I mean, community was everywhere in my world. But because community builder wasn't a job title, I didn't see it as a skill. It wasn't until I looked at the evidence, I mean, really looked at it, that I realized I've been cultivating spaces where women feel supported, connected, and seen for years. I wasn't calling it community building, but that's exactly what it was. And the fourth thing was coaching had been showing up in my life for years, and I almost missed that too. I've created courses, I've developed workshops, I've run cohorts. I can break down complicated ideas so that people can actually use them. I've been coaching my whole career without ever calling myself a coach. And when I recognized that, everything just sort of clicked because that ability to take what I know and transfer it to someone else is the backbone of every digital product that I create today. It's not something that I picked up recently. This is a skill that has been with me the entire time. Now, after I laid everything out in the audit, three skills rose to the top for me. Three skills that felt like, oh, this is really who I am. This is really what I do. And of course, the first one is surprise messaging. And I want to be clear here. I'm not talking about copywriting. I'm talking about messaging, the ability to help women say who they are, what they do, and why it matters in a way that actually lands. It's the skill that helps someone stand taller in their story. It's the skill that clarifies an offer and makes a client finally understand, oh, that's what you do. Messaging changes careers, it opens doors, and yes, it drives sales. I didn't realize how central it was to everything I do until I saw it written down. The second thing was story development. This is what rose to the top. This one almost snuck up on me because as it turns out, I don't just help women tell their story, I help them make sense of their story. I help them turn their lived experience into leadership value, into frameworks, into narratives that actually move people. This wasn't a skill I set out to develop, it's one that showed up in everything I touched. And once I saw it clearly, I thought to myself, oh, this might be the superpower I didn't know I had. And the third thing that rose to the top, you guessed it, community building. Now, this was not a big surprise to me. I've been building community, like I said, my whole life. Corporate committees, ministry groups, event cohorts, my more life and midlife community, but I never labeled it as a skill until this audit. And then it hit me, I'm not creating social clubs here. I'm building purpose-driven spaces where women can grow, learn, and be seen. Community building touches everything I do, my events, my cohorts, my courses, my programs. It's literally the ecosystem around all of the work that I do. And once I realized that these skills weren't just real, they were sellable and scalable, everything sort of clicked into place for me. These weren't just skills I had, these were the skills I was going to build my next chapter on. My content, my offers, my entire business, it all sits right here. Now, let's bring this back to you and talk about how you can do this too, because I don't want you to just watch me do a skill audit. I want you to do your own. And I'm not talking about the resume version, I'm talking about the real version, the midlife, I've lived through some things and I've learned some things version. So let's start with the same questions that I used. The first one being, what do people always come to me for? That's not random, that's a clue. The second question is, what comes so naturally that you barely notice that you're doing it? This is often your most marketable skill because what's easy for you is hard for someone else. The third question is, what have you already done, even one time, that proves you can do it again? This is your evidence, and evidence builds confidence. So get those reps in. The fourth question is, which of your skills can you teach, package, or turn into a process? Because those are the ones that you can monetize. And listen, you don't need a website to do this. You don't need branding. You don't even need a perfect offer yet. You just need clarity because once you can see the value that you already have, you stop shrinking, you stop second guessing, and you start building from a place of power instead of pressure. Doing this audit changed everything for me. It reminded me that I wasn't starting from zero, I was starting from experience, and so are you. If you've been feeling stuck, unsure, or confused about what you can sell, start with a skill audit. Let it show you the truth about what you've done, who you are, and what you're capable of building. And if you're ready to take the step for community, accountability, and clear guidance while you do it, come join us inside More Life in Midlife. We're building our next chapters together, one skill, one story, and one income stream at a time. Your story is not random. Your skills are not accidental. And your next chapter isn't waiting for permission, it's waiting for recognition. You already have what you need. Now it's time for you to see it clearly. If this video resonated with you, do me a quick favor. Like this video, share it with another woman who needs to see it, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.